Yes, ma'am.
Last chapter in Unit 4, Unit Operation, in which extraction. We study up to their methods, 3 methods. Extraction, it is a method or process in which removing of active constituent from the solid or liquid by the means of using liquid solvent. The solvent which is used for extraction is known as menstruum, and the inert insoluble material which is remains after the extraction is known as mers. Then next, methods of extraction, in which 5 methods mainly used: infusion, decoction, digestion, maceration, percolation. In previous lecture, we discussed 3 methods: decoction, digestion, and infusion. Remaining 2 methods, percolation and maceration, we are going to discuss in this lecture. So percolation, it is a process which is used for extraction of drug, means to extract the active ingredient from any drug substances, either which is obtained from plant source or animal source. How many methods again in percolation process?
2.
3 methods. Screen is visible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, किती methods आहेत स्क्रीनवर?
3 methods.
3.
So first one is simple percolation or petroleum process for tinctures. Second one, percolation process for concentrated preparation such as reserve percolation process and modified percolation process. And last one is continuous hot percolation, that is by using Soxlet apparatus or Soxlation process. This percolation through extraction is done. So these 3 methods are under percolation process for extraction, in which we have to study in detail simple percolation and continuous hot percolation process. कोणत्या दोन बघायचे?
Percolation.
Simple percolation and continuous hot percolation. So let's see one by one. Firstly, simple percolation or petroleum process for tinctures. So apparatus for this simple percolation is used. Percolators are used. 3 types of percolators are used, in which conical percolators. In simple percolation process, different types of percolators are used for extraction of drug, in which first one is conical percolators, second one is cylindrical percolator. Conical percolator means they having conical in shape, then cylindrical, they having cylindrical in shape, and steam jacketed percolator means this percolator are heated by the steam, by heat. So these are the 3 types of percolator generally used in simple percolation process. Apparatus in which 3 types of percolators are used. So in which next conical percolator. So this percolator, it is conical in shape, which having the lower diameter not less than half of upper diameter. Then the drug, these are less chances of choking, that is blocking चे chances ह्या percolator मध्ये कमी असतात. In case drug is swell up, because drug can slope against wall of the percolator. So let's see firstly diagram and then procedure, means how extraction process is done through this conical percolator in the simple percolation. Apparatus used to carry out this percolation process, in which first one simple percolation process. For these 3 types of percolators are used. First one conical percolator, cylindrical percolator, and steam jacketed percolators. Conical percolators having conical shape, they having the cylindrical shape, and steam jacketed percolators, these are the percolators, they are heated by steam. This is conical shape percolator. Skin is visible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
They are made from glass or metal. Lower diameter is not less than half of upper diameter. The diameter दिसतोय तुम्हाला conical shape मध्ये. हा diameter कसा आहे? More or less? कमी की जास्त आहे upper diameter?
More.
जास्त आहे. And as compare lower diameter is less than upper diameter. Chances of choking or blocking by swelling of drug are less. म्हणजे ब्लॉक होण्याचे चान्सेस कोनिकल परकोलेटर मध्ये कमी असतात. ओके, इथं ड्रग प्लेस करायचा आहे परकोलेटर मध्ये. and after that extraction process साठी allow करायचं through percolation. Chances of evaporation of menstruum are more. Menstruum means
The solvent used for extraction
Solvent.
process is called
solvent which is
menstruum.
used for extraction process is known as menstruum. So जे menstruum या प्रोसेस साठी यूज करणार आहे त्याचं इव्हॅपोरेशन होण्याचे चान्सेस असतात. See in the diagram. कोनिकल परकोलेटर शेप कसा असतो समजलाय?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have to draw this diagram in your notebook with their names. So this is here menstruum is placed up. Cursor direction बघा सगळ्यांनी. Here menstruum is placed for percolation process. Then washed sand. Sand माहितीये? SAND.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
वाळू. Then filter paper is placed here. Also washed sand is placed here. And जो drug आहे ज्याचं extraction करायचंय तो drug इथे place केला जातो. And here glass wool. Solvent is placed here in which firstly drug is placed whose extraction is done, on which filter paper is placed after that washed sand is placed here, and then this percolator filled with the solvent that is menstruum. Menstruum ni te fill करायचंय. And after that procedure, different step preparation tincture by simple percolation consisting of steps in which first one organize the vegetable drugs in suitable powder form. म्हणजे ज्या ड्रगचा आपल्याला एक्स्ट्रॅक्शन करायचंय ते पावडर फॉर्म मध्ये या परकोलेटर मध्ये फर्स्टली प्लेस करायचे. युनिफॉर्म मशीनिंग पावडर व्हेजिटेबल ड्रग विथ द मेनस्ट्रम पीरियड 4 hours. मग याच्यामध्ये आपण मेनस्ट्रम ऍड करणार आहे या परकोलेटर मध्ये. तर ते ड्रग आणि मेनस्ट्रम 4 hours साठी ऍज सच या वेसल्स मध्ये किंवा या परकोलेटर मध्ये ठेवायचे. आफ्टर दॅट packed eventually into the percolator. इथून percolator pack करायचा. This is lead. Screen is visible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Procedure समजते one by one step.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then हे जे आहे pack eventually into the percolator. तर drug आणि solvent 4 hours साठी contact मध्ये ठेवायचे. That's why we have to close the lid. Then place the filter paper placed on followed by layer clean sand at the top layer and which is do not disturb to the drug. म्हणजे ड्रग प्लेस केल्यानंतर एक फिल्टर पेपर प्लेस करून त्याच्यावर वॉश्ड सँड प्लेस करायचे. दॅट्स वाय इट डू नॉट डिस्टर्ब टू द ड्रग. देन सफिशियंट अमाउंट मध्ये मेनस्ट्रम pour करायचं आहे परकोलेटर मध्ये and eventually saturated it and keep the tape of the bottom open passing occluded gas and passed out. After the maceration outlet is opened and solvent is percolated at control rate and continuous addition of मेनस्ट्रम म्हणजे काय करायचं आहे, फ्रॉम दी सर्टेन पिरियड किती हवासाठी ड्रग आणि सॉल्व्हंट कॉन्टॅक्ट मध्ये ठेवायचं आहे, 4 hours. आणि आफ्टर सर्टेन पिरियड 4 hours नंतर काय करायचंय, हे जे इथं प्लेस केलेलं आहे ग्लास वूल ते रिमूव्ह करायचंय, म्हणजे जे सॉल्व्हंट आहे ते इथून रिमूव्ह होईल. दिस इज आउटलेट. ओके. आणि रिमेनिंग जे फ्रेश हे इथून रिमूव्ह केल्यावर इथं काय राहणार आहे, फक्त ड्रग सॉल्व्हंट लिक्विड इथून रिमूव्ह होणार की नाही.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
देन आफ्टर फ्रेश मेन्स्ट्रम इथून ऍड करायचं, नंतर फ्रेश सॉल्व्हंट पर्कोलेटर मध्ये ऍड करायचं. देन 75% of the volume of finished product is collected and mark is pressed and expressed liquid is added to the percolator, which is given 80% to 90% into the final volume, and volume is adjusted by calculating the quantity of fresh menstruum. Evaporation concentration get finished product by applying suitable technique to the apparatus. म्हणजे काय, इथून जे रिमूव्ह होणारा प्रोडक्ट आहे आउटलेट मधून तो ऍटलीस्ट 75% व्हॉल्यूम मध्ये कलेक्ट व्हावा एवढं वरून पर्कोलेटर मध्ये सॉल्व्हंटचं फ्रेश व्हॉल्यूम मध्ये ऍड करायचंय. अप टू फिनिश्ड प्रोडक्ट जो आहे तो आपल्याला 75% व्हॉल्यूम मध्ये भेटावा. इथपर्यंत त्याच्यामध्ये मेन्स्ट्रम फ्रेश व्हॉल्यूम मेन्स्ट्रमची पर्कोलेटर मध्ये ऍड करायची आहे. बाय दिस वे जसं जसं आपल्याला त्या ड्रगचा आणि सॉल्व्हंटचा कॉन्टॅक्ट मोर 4 hours साठी आहे त्यावेळी त्याच्यामधल्या ड्रग मधले ऍक्टिव्ह कॉन्स्टिट्युएंट त्या सॉल्व्हंट मध्ये डिझॉल्व्ह होतील आणि बाय दिस वे पर्कोलेशन थ्रू आपल्याला ऍक्टिव्ह इन्ग्रेडियंट बाय पर्कोलेशन प्रोसेस एका डिफरंट वेसल मध्ये कलेक्ट करता येतात. सो दिस इज अबाउट कोनिकल पर्कोलेटर. समजलंय एक्सट्रॅक्शन कसं होतंय बाय पर्कोलेशन प्रोसेस.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
आता ज्या स्टेप्स सांगितले, फर्स्टली ड्रग इज प्लेस्ड, देन वॉटर, सॅन्ड, ऑल these points are in handwritten notes. So write down the same point in your notebook. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
प्रोसिजर समजलीये काय कसं प्लेस करायचंय. हाउ एक्सट्रॅक्शन इज अकर बाय दिस कोनिकल पर्कोलेटर.
Yes, ma'am.
Sound is audible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
समजली प्रोसिजर.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Then next point. Cylindrical percolator. आहे का सिलेंड्रिकल शेप.
Yes. Yes,
अपर आणि लोअर डायमीटर लेस मोर असे आहेत की सेम आहेत.
Same.
Same.
So we have to only study in detail procedure of conical percolator. The cylindrical percolator, just look out for your information. Okay. Steam jacketed percolator. Means same conical and cylindrical percolator ahead, but there is jacket, steam jacket is added. Here inlet is provided and outlet is provided. काय चेंज आहे steam jacketed percolator मध्ये समजलाय.
Yes,
Yes,
आहे तेच आहे. दिस इज कोनिकल अँड सिलेंड्रिकल. तर त्याच्यामध्ये फक्त स्टीम जॅकेट ऍड केलाय. ऍट दी अप्पर साइड और द टॉप स्टीम इनलेट अँड लोअर साइड स्टीम आउटलेट. आणि आपल्याला फक्त प्रोसिजर इन डिटेल मध्ये कोणत्या पर्कोलेटरची करायची आहे.
Conical.
समजली ती प्रोसिजर.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, madam.
So firstly, imbibed drug. is given, which is passes through a sieve and which is collected on the filter paper. This process is known as sifting, and this drug powder, which is then placed into the conical percolator. Then after that, before drug is placed in percolator, glass wool is placed, then drug powder is placed in percolator. After that, filter paper is placed, then washed sand is placed. Because of this protective layer, they prevent the disturbance in this both layer, and then add the solvent, which is kept for the 4 hours, and after a certain time, remove the glass wool through which percolated solvent is get as a finished product, and which is collected up to the 70% of volume, and at certain time period or interval of certain time, add the fresh solvent in conical percolator. This is about procedure of conical percolation. This is layer of sand. It is filter paper, drug. Here glass wool is placed. Addition of menstruum. So for the continuous hot percolation process, Soxlet, it is also known as Soxlet extraction, and for this process, Soxlet apparatus is used. So again, we have to study same point, how it will work. That is principle, apparatus is used, content of the apparatus and their procedure. Means how the continuous hot percolation useful in extraction process. The extraction of solvent to be used placed in the distillation flask. Flask is placed on the heating element. Soxlet extractor is placed at the top of the flask. Reflux condenser is placed at the top of extractor. This is diagram of Soxlet extractor. During the procedure, we see all these points. Parts of Soxlet extractor, in which stirrer bar, steel pot, distillation bath, thimble, solid, siphon top, siphon exit, expansion adapter, condenser, cooling water in and cooling water out. They are provided for inlet and the outlet. Let's see the procedure of Soxlet extractor. Continuous hot percolation process or Soxlation or Soxlet extraction process. Apparatus used for the extraction is known as Soxlet apparatus. Means in such a way, screen is visible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, by this way extraction is done. Here siphon tube, this is siphon tube, drug is placed here. This is water out, it is water in, drug is placed, then it is siphon tube, then it is reflux condenser, here inlet. This both are side tubes. Cursor दिसतोय सगळ्यांना?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is RBF, round bottom flask. This is water bath on which RBF is placed. It is heating element. And here Soxlet extractor is placed by which extraction is done. Parts of Soxlet extractor. समजले?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
RBF, siphon tube, drug, then Soxlet extractor, side tube. It is reflex condenser, outlet, inlet, water outlet, water inlet, heating element, water here, water bath. And then procedure is started for extraction, means heating is started. Then by this way, extraction is done. Water in, then it goes through the side tubes. It is heated by heating element. When active constituent of the drug is not freely soluble in solvent or difficult to be displaced from the cells of the drug, then become necessary to extract the crude drug by action of hot menstruum for considerable length of time. This is principle of Soxlet apparatus. म्हणजे जे ऍक्टिव्ह कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट ड्रग मध्ये असतात ते इझिली मेन्स्ट्रम मध्ये सॉल्व्हेंट मध्ये सोल्युबल होत नाहीत. ऍट दॅट टाइम दिस कंटिन्युअस hot percolation process use केली जाते. When we use this continuous hot percolation process, it is easy to remove the active constituent from this drug or extract the active constituent from the drug. Continuous hot process म्हणजे for all the time त्याला heat provide केली जाते आणि त्या दोन्ही साइड ट्यूब सिफॉन ट्यूब त्याच्यामधून हॉट वॉटर फ्लो होत असतं. A fixed oil from seed and alkaloids from drug extracted by continuous percolation process using chloroform ether benzene. Means fixed oils from the seeds and alkaloids fixed oils माहिती आहेत? कोग्नसी मध्ये झाले असतील.
झाले.
Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
हा ते एखाद्या ड्रग मधून ज्यावेळेस रिमूव्ह करायचे एक्स्ट्रॅक्ट करायचे असते ऍट दॅट टाइम कंटिन्युअस हॉट पर्क्युलेशन प्रोसेस यूज केली जाते अँड फॉर दॅट मेनस्ट्रम दॅट इज सॉल्व्हंट युज्ड क्लोरोफॉर्म इथर अँड बेन्झीन. Mostly alkaloids are extracted by this hot percolation process. One by one step, flask containing boiling solvent means menstruum, then Soxlet extractor in which drug is placed or packed which is to be extracted. Drug कुठे प्लेस करायचे?
Chocolate
RBF मध्ये काय असणार आहे? ही जी फर्स्टली डायग्राम बघितलेली तो सेटअप करायचा आहे आपल्याला. So one by one, step wise. Firstly, RBF filled with the solvent or extractor, then Soxlet extractor on which drug is placed for extraction, and it has side tube which carries vapor of the solvent from the flask containing condenser, and siphon tube which siphons over extract from extractor to the flask. Side tubes मधून काय होतात? हॉट वॉटरचे वेपर्स पास होतात. And also siphon tube attached to this, and by this way here continuous hot heat provided to this drug. म्हणजे याच्यामध्ये वॉटर ही बॉईल होते प्लस आरबीएफ मध्ये असलेलं सॉल्व्हंट ही थ्रू हीटिंग एलिमेंट बॉईल होते. The drug is extracted which is placed in paper cylinder made the filter paper into the body of Soxlet apparatus. Then solvent is placed in the flask. Then apparatus is fitted, means there is arrangement of RBF and this siphon tube containing extractor. Then when solvent is placed, then it is boiled and converted into the vapors. Vapors माहिती आहेत? water vapors.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So through this water vapor, continuous hot liquid produces vapor to this drug and active constituent through this hot water we get from this extraction process. म्हणजे जशी त्या ड्रगला हीट भेटेल हॉट पर्क्युलेशन थ्रू वेपर्स भेटतील as like that they in which active ingredient in this drug get percolated or removed or extracted and at the end ते काय होणार आहेत RBF मध्ये कलेक्ट केले जाणार आहेत. Normally this process repeat for 15 times. Screen is visible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
This is whole setup of Soxlet apparatus. Here solvent is placed, then heat through the heating element heat is given, then this solvent get vaporized and also water is provided through here water inlet. This is continuously water inlet and outlet. आणि त्याचं हिटिंग होणे कंटिन्युअसली स्टार्ट म्हणजे कंटिन्युअसली होत असतं. दॅट्स वाय दिस प्रोसेस इज नेम एज कंटिन्युअस हॉट पर्कोलेशन. Direction दिसते how the vapors are passes through this setup. हे कसं आलं समजलं का? ऍक्टिव्ह कॉन्स्टिट्युएंट ऍट द एंड कुठे येणार आहे RBF मध्ये and after that we collected into the separate apparatus. ही मूवमेंट प्रोसेस कशी होते डायरेक्शन दिसते का?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
This is water inlet, it is water outlet. Then this water flows from this siphon tube and side tube like this way. इथं active constituent आलेलं दिसते पर्पल कलर आणि रेड कलर मध्ये.
Yes, ma'am.
इथून ड्रग एक्स्ट्रॅक्ट होतो आणि RBF मध्ये ते कलेक्ट होतात. So by this way extraction is done in the Soxlet extraction or Soxlet apparatus. This process is continuous for 15 minutes. And if solvent is extracted, then again filling of the solvent is done. Screen is visible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So in the percolation process, here we discuss firstly simple percolation in which cylindrical, conical and steam jacketed percolators are used, in which we see in detail about conical percolation means by which percolator, how extraction is done, their procedure. And then next continuous hot percolation, that is Soxlation extraction or Soxlation process by which how extraction is done. Then let's see the next point and last method in the extraction process is maceration. Percolation समजले?
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Next step is maceration. The process in which properly communicated drug is placed or trimmed to the soak in solvent for specific period of time until the cellular structure is softened and penetrated by solvent and soluble constituents are dissolved and extracted out. This process is known as maceration. Means maceration process. Example, tea bags in daily life. हे tea bags चे examples माहिती आहे? Means particular solvent on which these bags are placed and after the certain time they are get dissolved or extracted in this solvent. माहिती आहे हे?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So ती जी procedure आहे काय, the process in which comminuted drug is placed. Comminuted drug means tea bags. They are placed to soak. Soak means माहिती आहे त्या solvent मध्ये त्या suck केल्या जातात, extract out केल्या जातात. So when they are kept for specific period in that solvent, then their chemical structure, that is active constituent in this drug, is soaked out by this solvent and they make soluble into this solvent and after that they are extracted out. This process is known as maceration. ही process माहित असेल तर maceration काय आहे हे समजत असेल. यूज केलेत का बाय टी बॅग्स? येस और नो?
No.
No, ma'am.
ओके, मॅसेरेशन मध्ये काय होतंय समजलंय. सपोज कन्सिडर टी बॅग ज्या आहेत, ज्या ड्रगचं आपल्याला एक्सट्रॅक्शन करायचं आहे तो ड्रग एका सॉल्व्हंट मध्ये प्लेस करायचा आहे विच इज केप्ट फॉर एक स्पेसिफिक पिरियड ऑफ टाइम and in which solvent is extract this drug. त्या ड्रगला तो सोक करणार आहे, एक्सट्रॅक्ट आउट करणार आहे, डिझॉल्व होणार आहे त्या ड्रग त्या सॉल्व्हंट मध्ये. दिस प्रोसेस इज नोन एज मॅसेरेशन. In maceration there are various types of processes. In the maceration, a process for tincture made from organized drug. Their examples: roots, steam, leaves. This process is known as simple maceration. In maceration, again, three processes or three types: simple maceration, maceration with adjustment, double maceration, and triple maceration. So in which simple maceration, for this process, tinctures are made from organized drug. In maceration with adjustment, unorganized drugs are used, such as oleoresin and gum resin. And for concentrated preparations, double maceration and triple maceration used. Cognosy मध्ये organized drug, unorganized drug difference झालाय.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
So जे organized drug आहे त्यांच्या मॅसेरेशनला, त्यांच्या जे मॅसेरेशन किंवा एक्सट्रॅक्शन केलं जातं by using simple maceration process. Unorganized drug means oleoresin, gum resin. For that, maceration with adjustment extraction process is used. And third type of maceration is कोणती आहे third type?
Double
Double maceration and triple maceration. Maceration म्हणजे काय समजले?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have to study one by one. Simple maceration मध्ये काय प्रोसेस असते? How simple maceration through extraction is occurred. So in which organized simple maceration मध्ये कोणत्या ड्रगचं maceration होतं किंवा extraction?
Organized.
Organized drug. A wide mouth bottle is used for this maceration process. Wide mouth ची bottle use करायची simple maceration मध्ये. And container is close the container in essential to prevent the evaporation of menstruum. आणि त्या wide mouth च्या बॉटलचं जे कंटेनर लीड आहे ते क्लोज करायचंय टू प्रिव्हेंट द इव्हॅपोरेशन ऑफ मेन्स्ट्रम. म्हणजे सॉल्व्हंट इव्हॅपोरेट होतोय ते कंट्रोल करण्यासाठी क्लोज करायचा आहे तो कंटेनर. अँड आफ्टर दॅट देर इज नो
Ma'am, voice येत नाही.
Sound is audible to all?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, so simple maceration मध्ये volume of the solvent. There is no need to adjust the volume of solvent in which firstly wide mouth container or bottle is used on which drug and solvent is placed and to close the container to avoid the evaporation of the solvent, and only organized drug are macerated or extracted through this simple maceration process. Then this closed container kept for 7 days. 7 दिवसासाठी ते at such place ठेवायचं आहे आणि त्याला ऑकेजनल शेकिंग म्हणजे ती जी बॉटल आहे त्याला ऑकेजनली शेकिंग करायचंय आफ्टर दी 7 डेज. 7 डेज नंतर ते स्ट्रेन करायचंय. स्ट्रेन मीन्स बाय युजिंग स्ट्रेनर, गाळणे म्हणजे ते फिल्टर करायचंय. and the expressway liquid is mixed with the strainer liquid and filtered to make clear liquid and finally volume is not adjusted. म्हणजे सिंपल मॅसेरेशन मध्ये जे ड्रग्स आहेत, सपोज रूट्स आहे, can anyone tell any example of root from pharmacognosy? Leaves,
Ginger.
stem,
Leaves tulsi.
root.
Ginger.
Okay, suppose leaves tulsi. Active ingredient कोणता आहे? Okay, root मध्ये राउल्फिया कन्सिडर केला. Then active ingredient of राउल्फिया रेझर पाइन, राइट? कोणता ऍक्टिव्ह इन्ग्रेडियंट राउल्फिया मध्ये? ऍक्टिव्ह इन्ग्रेडियंट इन राउल्फिया और तुलसी, फास्ट.
तुलसी मध्ये leaves.
Leaves, it is part active ingredient. I am asking about their chemical constituent. Okay, Raulfia, suppose its main chemical constituent or active ingredient is रेझर पाइन आणि तो रेझर पाइन आपल्याला सिंपल मॅसेरेशन थ्रू एक्स्ट्रॅक्ट करायचं. सो फर्स्टली काय करायचं, वाइड माउथ कंटेनर आहे त्याच्यामध्ये राउल्फियाचे रूट प्लेस करायचे, जे आपण रूट्स ऑर्गनाइज्ड ड्रग ऑर्गनाइज्ड पार्ट रूट यूज करतोय तो, अँड सॉल्वंट ऍड करायचा अँड विच इज केप्ट फॉर 7 डेज. ते 7 डेज साठी ऍज सच बॉटल ठेवायची विथ त्याला शेकिंग ही करायचं. कंटिन्युअसली शेकिंग इज ड्युरिंग सर्टेन पिरियड शेकिंग इज ऑल्सो डन. And after the 7 days, 7 दिवसानंतर ते काय करायचंय, फिल्टर करायचंय सोल्युशन ऑफ दिस रूट अँड सॉल्वंट. देन वी गेट ऍक्टिव्ह इन्ग्रेडियंट फ्रॉम दिस स्ट्रेन्ड लिक्विड अँड दिस फिल्टर आउट. ज्यावेळेस ते स्ट्रेन केलेलं गाळल्यानंतर अगेन वी फिल्टर दिस लिक्विड, देन वी गेट क्लिअर लिक्विड विथ ऍक्टिव्ह इन्ग्रेडियंट. सो सिंपल मॅसेरेशनची सिंपल प्रोसिजर आहे. सो बाय दिस वे एक्झाम्पल्स: tincture of squeal, tincture of orange and tincture of lemon. Their extraction or maceration is done by simple maceration process. Then next, maceration with adjustment. Simple maceration समजले?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Maceration with adjustment. This process is used for unorganized drug. In this process, unorganized drug is placed in vessel with menstruum for 2 to 7 days. 2 ते 7 दिवसासाठी ते एका वेसल मध्ये क्लोजली पॅक करायचे ड्रग आणि मेन्स्ट्रम. ड्युरिंग दिस पिरियड शेकिंग इज डन ऑकेजनली, म्हणजे ऍट सर्टेन टाइम इंटरवल शेकिंग कंटिन्युअसली ठेवायचे. आफ्टर दिस स्टेटेड पिरियड देन सेम लिक्विड इज फिल्टर. लिक्विड फिल्टर करायचं आणि फायनल व्हॉल्यूम किती लिक्विड एक्स्ट्रॅक्ट आपल्याला भेटते तो त्याची व्हॉल्यूम ऍडजस्ट करायची आहे बाय युजिंग मेन्स्ट्रम. दिस इज अबाउट मॅसेरेशन विथ ऍडजस्टमेंट. म्हणजे सिंपल मॅसेरेशन मध्ये ऍडजस्टमेंट आहे का? व्हॉल्यूम ऍडजस्टमेंट
नाही.
नाही.
in which unorganized drug, oleoresins, gum resins, ते लिक्विड मध्ये असतात. unorganized drug, semi liquid, so that's why there is adjustment is done. Then last step कोणती? last procedure maceration मध्ये
Double maceration.
Double and triple maceration. Okay. Before that, examples of maceration with adjustment, tincture of tolu and compound tincture of benzene. So these both are macerated by using maceration with adjustment. And last process in maceration process for concentrated preparation in which double maceration and triple maceration. So याच्यामध्ये procedure नाही in which we have to study only formulas for the triple maceration. Triple maceration means the quantity of menstruum required for 3 maceration. So for that, calculation is done by using formula total volume of maceration minus volume to be retained by the drug divided by 3. Why 3 is used? 3च का घेतलंय या फॉर्म्युला मध्ये? Because there is triple maceration in which first maceration, then volume, total volume of maceration म्हणजे जे मेन्स्ट्रम आपण फर्स्टली यूज करणार आहे त्याची टोटल व्हॉल्यूम आणि त्या आफ्टर दी 7 days जी प्रोसिजर आहे त्याच्यानंतर जी व्हॉल्यूम, ज्या व्हॉल्यूम मध्ये आपल्याला ते सॉल्व्हंट रिटेन राहिलेला आहे दॅट इज दी व्हॉल्यूम. सो मायनस दिस बोथ व्हॉल्यूम divided by 3 plus volume to be retained by the drug. By this equation, this triple maceration process is calculated. Then for double maceration, same formula असेल. Double म्हटल्यावर इथं 3 येईल की 2 येईल? 2 or 3?
2.
So total volume of maceration minus volume retained by drug plus volume retained by the drug. म्हणजे टोटल आपण किती मेन्स्ट्रम यूज केला मायनस त्या आफ्टर मॅसेरेशन प्रोसेस नंतर किती सॉल्व्हंट राहिला तो ड्रगचा विथ ड्रग प्लस व्हॉल्यूम रिटेन बाय ड्रग. सो वी हॅव टू स्टडी ओनली दिस फॉर्म्युला फॉर द मॅसेरेशन प्रोसेस. Here we complete extraction chapter with 5 methods of extraction, their definition, classification of extraction, then solvent used for the extraction and ideal properties of solvent. Any doubt related to extraction chapter? In the limitation of continuous hot percolation process means this apparatus is not used for the following cases, in which first one, physical character of drug. The physical character of drug is such as gum, resins or orange peel or opium. Then they block Soxlet apparatus. So for such cases, this apparatus, for such cases, extraction is not done by using Soxlet extractor. Then second, solvent, only pure solvent or constant boiling mixtures are used for this process. Then last one, chemical constituent means thermolabile active constituent असणारे जे drugs आहेत like alkaloid containing, anthraquinone derivative containing or enzymes containing drug. They are thermolabile in nature, means they are radially destroyed or deactivated by heat. Heat नी ते deactivate होतात. तर अशा ड्रग साठी सॉक्सलेट एक्स्ट्रॅक्टर यूज केलं जात नाही, बिकॉज सॉक्सलेट एक्स्ट्रॅक्टर मध्ये कंटिन्युअस हॉट सर्क्युलेशन और पर्क्युलेशन आहे. बॉइलिंग ऑफ वॉटर और सॉल्वेंट कंटिन्युअस होतं. If we are using such type of drugs, they having thermolabile or active constituent, then they get destroyed. That's why the chemical constituents such as alkaloid enzymes or thermolabile active constituent drugs are not used for extraction by this way. This is about limitation of this apparatus.